Today is Veterans Day, a day that we set aside to honor those who served this country, past and present. Those who make incredible sacrifices that you and I will never understand. As a son of a former Army soldier, an Army soldier who served in the First Gulf War, my father, obviously I'm talking about, I've been around soldiers my whole life. So I understand what service before self, what it really means. But this year, I can't celebrate it. I honestly can't. It's not the fact that I won't celebrate it, I can't celebrate it. And the reason that I can't is the current regime in charge of this country, Donald Trump. Donald Trump has shown incredible disrespect for our military. And this is a historic fact, and it goes way beyond the comments he made about John McCain, the former senator, heaven rest his soul. Remember what Trump said about McCain? That he liked his war heroes, or I should mention first, that John McCain served in the United States Navy as a pilot, as an aviator. He was captured and spent time as a POW. And instead of showing any kind of sympathy or honor for that, Donald Trump decided to say he wants his war heroes to not to be captured.
I supported him for president. I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that, because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Maybe it was a joke, maybe it was serious. Either way, it was just the wrong thing to say to him, about him. Regardless of how you feel about his politics, and I could say a whole lot. There's a time for politics and a time to cut it off. And Donald Trump didn't just destroy that line. He decided to take a blowtorch to it. But one of the primary reasons why I'm finding it very hard to celebrate Veterans Day is what Donald Trump and members of his regime, namely the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, has done to this country and its military, and more importantly, its veterans, past and present. Everybody knows about the current shutdown. Now, news is coming in that the shutdown might actually be ending, that the Democrats have caved and all kinds of rumors are going around. But we need to think about what happened during the shutdown. Benefits for military veterans, whether it be food stamps, SNAP benefits, were being held off by Donald Trump. But we even need to talk about health care for veterans that were put in unbelievable danger because of Donald Trump and the Republican Party. And I'm talking about health care, whether physical or mental, when it came to our veterans. Healthcare that could save veterans from debilitating conditions in healthcare mentally for veterans suffering from I don't know how many kind of mental disorders, including post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And thanks to Trump's ineptitude and stupidity, they were put on the line. But one of the primary reasons why I can't celebrate Veterans Day is because of how Donald Trump and the Secretary of War, Pete Hegseth, have treated our military soldiers, past and present, in history books. Now, Pete Hegseth served in this nation's military. He was a United States Army officer, so he probably should be the first to understand that rich history of men and women who served in our country's military, who wore this nation's colors in the past, from all the way from the American Revolutionary War to World War II to the present day. You would think a person like that would understand things like that, but of course, along with everything else he's done to our military, to discourage people of color, women, the LGBTQ from serving in this military now, one of the primary things that he's doing is wiping away the history of people of the military who served this country, who were people of color, who were of the LGBTQ, who were women. During his administration, Hegseth has wiped out entire websites and pages dedicated to the contributions of men and women who served in this military, all because they were men and women of color, women because they were just women, or the LGBTQ. He tried to wipe away the history of the Tuskegee Airmen and Jackie Robinson. He's trying to rename a ship in the U.S. Navy that's named after Harvey Milk to someone else, because Harvey Milk was, unfortunately, a homosexual. I say the word unfortunately on that because that's the only reason why that ship was renamed. Because Harvey Milk, he served as a United States Navy diver. But that doesn't matter to Pete Hegseth. It matters only one thing, and one thing only. Harvey Milk was gay. And in the eyes of Donald Trump, in the eyes of his supporters, in the eyes of Pete Hegseth, is wrong. When I received this report not too long ago, I darn near hit the roof. Trump is removing a memorial that's honoring African American troops who served in Europe during World War II. Again, this is all in an effort to purge African American history from the military. Pete Hegseth, under orders of Trump, and more importantly, thanks to complaints from the Heritage Foundation. Yeah, you heard that right. They're doing this because of complaints from the Heritage Foundation, a right-wing racist group with its fingers in a lot of government pies. The people who wrote and authored Project 2025, in which this is Donald Trump's playbook, they decided to remove those memorials. And for those memorials, let me tell you what they are. The memorials were two panels from the Netherlands American Cemetery in Marken, South Limburg. One of the first two panels described how millions of African Americans volunteered for service during the Second World War, but had to fight both against the Axis powers in Europe, i.e. the Nazis, and racism on their own side, including segregation within the army itself, that confined them to supporting roles, not combat roles, the exact same thing that P. Hegseth is trying to do right now. A second panel was dedicated to a telephone engineer, George H. Pruitt, who died on June 10, 1945, while trying to save a comrade who had fallen into a river. I understand why P. Hegseth's doing this. He served in as I mentioned earlier, he served in the U.S. military, U.S. Army Reserves. Made all the way to the rank of major before he destroyed his career over his tattoos, his white supremacist, Nazi-like tattoos. Basically doing exactly what the Nazis did to the Jews. Tried to wipe away their history, as well as try to wipe away them. And I think that's exactly what P. Hegseth is trying to do. He may have worn the uniform of an army soldier, but he is a Nazi nonetheless. And I know you guys are going to hate me for saying that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn. I call it like I see it. Here are the facts. The reason I can't celebrate Veterans Day is because the current regime has done everything in their power to disgrace and destroy veterans in this country. And why? Because the soldiers who made a difference in this country were black? Because they were women? Because they were gay or lesbian or transsexual or transgendered? See, what really bothers me about this whole situation is a lot of you are in the right wing are calling me all kinds of names like unpatriotic or un-American. But what do you call this? What Trump and Hegseth are doing? You call that American? Wiping away the history of those who gave their lives for this country? Who had to fight against insurmountable odds, not only from the Axis powers, but their own government that gave the green light to be in segregation. We know that you don't have any respect for veterans who served this country, Trump. You showed that over and over again, up to and beyond the comments you made against John McCain. You showed that when you unleashed the racist dog, the Secretary of War, P. Hegseth, the drunk that he is. You showed that when you put this entire country through a shutdown that's hurting Americans, especially veterans. This is why I cannot celebrate today. And if you want an indication as to how much this country hates what you've done to it, look no further than what happened this past Sunday when you decided just to show up out of the blue to Washington Commanders game to indoctrinate others new servicemen and women to the United States military. They booed you. The crowd booed you, Trump. They do not respect you as president or commander-in-chief, and as for that drunk Hexef, he was right next to you. That is what you've done to this country. And unfortunately, that disrespect is seeping into our troops. I may not celebrate Veterans Day, but it isn't because of the veterans in this country. It's because of the man who's done everything he can to disrespect them. Trump, your presidency is going to end. Whether it be a year from now or a month from now, it will end. And we will take the long necessary steps to rebuilding it. For your sake, and your sake, PXF, you white supremacist drunk, don't get in the way. CTP, know the truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.